Is there any way to make it stop? Leader Fan Radio Network. No! And KFAN.com. 1 minute and 53 seconds past the hour, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. Welcome back. It is a Tuesday edition of the Bumper to Bumper program on what appears to be a calm before the Snownami Tuesday afternoon here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. My name is Dan Barreiro. I host the program. Guardsy occasionally produces it, but he is still in the Bahamas with Golden Gopher women's basketball. So it's Brett Blakemore back in that chair. Is that 2 straight days for you? 4 out of the last 5 on Bumper to Bumper?
I think so. Yeah.
Endless. Not to mention Sunday sermons. Now, we're off on this show tomorrow. Not my decision, by the way. You can't blame me for this one. Off Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, and off Friday because we got football. But we do have sermons Sunday, as far as I know, correct?
That's my knowledge as well.
And that would be a 2-hour tour because the Vikings are playing on the West Coast. They are taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Is that correct?
It's almost weird having the 2 hours now.
It is. It's very, very strange. There's no doubt. Well, we'll try to pull through it. So I guess the point of this ramble early is I want to try to get a lot of stuff accomplished today, given that we're not going to be able to tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. That includes the predictions segment, moved up to 3:30 this afternoon. Gerby at 3:30. We expect, as always, after victory, he will be very gracious to the Vikings audience today. And we'll discover what I already know, that I am having one of the worst prediction years I've ever had on the award-winning Bumper to Bumper NFL predictions segment. But we'll get through it nevertheless. Kevin Seifert's going to join us in studio at about 4:02. Louis joined us yesterday, so we don't have him today. Kessler's getting the week off. Mason is getting the week off. Because I tried to move Mace to today as well, but he, I believe, is traveling today. So we'll mix and match. There's plenty to get to, including my ongoing belief that, when we get close to the holidays, we often talk about Christmas movies, holiday films, and it's quite a debate that breaks out. What even defines one? What are the best ones? What are the worst ones, etc.? I am of the belief that, for all intents and purposes, even though there have been many Thanksgiving-themed motion pictures made, I believe there is only one Thanksgiving movie. I think on Thanksgiving, it's so much easier than Christmas. I'll explain why a little bit later as well. Can we make it stop? Is there a way, and in this case, it has nothing to do with the J.J. McCarthy saga. Nothing to do with base, body, balance. No, it's base, balance, body, Brosmer. Nothing to do with that subject, which we will explore, obviously, with Seifert. The make it stop in this case, and it's essential right now, has to do with the Golden Gopher football coach. Somebody's got to get to him, man. Somebody with a shred of credibility has to try to get to him, because it's obvious he's not going to look in the mirror and get to himself. He's just not. He doesn't even seem capable of it. I was looking at a Star Tribune piece. I think the headline was 5 takeaways from the PJ presser. Here's the way it was written by, I think this was a Randy Johnson piece. Fleck breaks down evaluations of his team in terms of schematics, coaching, and personnel. He pointed to the latter two as the issue against Northwestern. It's very similar defense to what we played 13 years. So it's not the schematic piece at issue, but the coaching piece and the personnel piece. Yeah, there's some things we have to do better. But the mistakes he pointed to were mostly made by, you guessed it, young players, inexperienced young players. We line up on the wrong side, and that's a young person mistake. We fit the wrong gap, young person mistake, but they're going to go from that. Does he realize nobody buys this swill at this point? Honestly, I don't know why at some point you can't say, well, let's see. In 5 road games, we've allowed 5 quarterbacks, not all of them great. Some, yes, several not. To complete 77% of their passes for 1,351 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 0 picks. Nobody's going to buy, whether you're using inexperienced players or not. That's not going to fly. As a sort of, well, we're lined up in the wrong place. Things happen. Sometimes it goes your way. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. There is nothing good about the way this team has played on the road. And maybe it wouldn't matter for him to own up to it a little bit. But 9 years in an era in which the transfer portal now dominates, that's what he's going to try to pull off? He'll probably get another contract extension out of it. Now, what was the other one he did where you're not allowed? It's amazing. You're not allowed to put games together in his world because, of course, he doesn't believe in momentum, good or bad. We were 0-1 in the championship season against Northwestern. What world are we living in 2025? You end up forced to criticize him more than he should be criticized on the basis of his record, which still ain't that bad given the University of Minnesota history. We get that. But to try to sell this off or to pawn this off on the youth of the players in an era in which you get to bring people in, and by the way, NIL standpoint as well, portal, we didn't do well enough. That's the bottom line. And I get it. Again, some seasons go a little bit better than others, but it's just it's nauseating to hear this ongoing approach. He's so used to uttering the same cliches. I guess he just adheres to them and thinks that people are going to buy it. Does he really think? I'm talking about discerning fans, and I'm not talking about haters. I'm talking about discerning fans. They're going to buy that? Again, I don't expect him to savage his team. But what did Scoggins have? What was the stat he had about Northwestern offensively? Came into the game ranked against the Gophers 118th nationally in passing offense, 110th in scoring offense, and 106th in total offense. They kept the ball for the last, basically, almost 8 minutes of the game before the Gophers could get it back. You can pawn that off on, lined up the wrong spot. We'll have to grow from that. It's very convenient. He loves to isolate individual games like they can't produce at some point a pattern when it suits his purpose. When it gets him another contract extension, then the pattern's important to him. Then it's not individual games. People aren't stupid. They're going to put together game after game after game, and they're going to see a trend, whether he wants to isolate for his own purposes in this case, because it's not conducive for him to think in terms of those 5 road games. There was a headline, too, in the Star Tribune on, I think, this story, something to the effect of, here, let me see if I can find it, because I want to get it 100% accurate. Of course, my cricket thing just came in to try to get on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, but I'll get to that in a minute. We'll get that updated here very shortly. Let me find Gophers. Twins. Here's Gophers. Here's the subhead. For Fleck and the Gophers, figuring out how to put Saturday's debacle aside and focus on the season finale against rival Wisconsin will show what this team is truly made of. Does anybody actually think before they write a headline like that? It sounds wonderful to say, now we're going to find out. Like, we didn't just find out the last several weeks on the road, this whole season on the road. Isn't that part of finding out? The idea that all will be forgiven and forgotten if you knock off a below 500 Wisconsin team that is hot, has gotten hotter towards the end of the season? Do we have any standards here at all? And they don't have to be Rose Bowl standards. They don't have to be national championship standards. But my God, I would love, but that won't happen. There's too much to hope for that an ex-Gopher or two would say, come on. Would do what Chris Carter did and just say, really? That's what we're gonna pawn this off on the kids being too young? This level of defensive dysfunction that is ongoing? To me, I know it's always been part of his shtick. Just some days it gets to you a little bit more than others. Because I never sense, is there any pushback at the University of Minnesota about it at all? I mean, is everybody so lost in his eyes that they just nod and say, well, that's PJ. That's the way PJ is going to do it, as opposed to, no, this is, I don't care I don't care if they beat Wisconsin by 50. They're going to end up in a mediocre bowl. Somebody texted me the other day and said, yeah, but don't forget now, that helps with NIL. Fine. Knock yourselves out with that. It's still a mediocre bowl. There's no redeeming. I mean, it's a mediocre season. Yeah, it's a winning record, but you're allowed to evaluate the wins and the losses. It's not difficult to do that this year, and to say the number of games that were too close to inferior teams that barely even won games in the Big Ten this year, and that they weren't close to being competitive whenever they played a superior opponent. Not even close. So, again, knock yourselves out with Sky Yuma and, hey, well, you know, who are you going to get that's better? That's always the comeback. I'm not here to replace him. I'm not here to call for his head. I'm just looking for some common sense from the discerning Gopher fan to say, what? Are we really supposed to buy this? This is what's, acceptable at this point? Not even any acknowledgement that to just blame this on youth when you have it's your program. You're 9 years in, and like I said, it's a different era. It's the transfer portal era, I thought. There's people coming and going all the time. You have to make the right choices. You got to make the right decisions. So we'll see what reaction we get via the Bradshaw and Bride KFAN text line, and if I'll be curious if there's anybody in the world of Gopherdom, any Dinkytown drama people who have any sense of, God, I don't want to hear that right now, to be honest with you. Let's try to come up with something a little bit better. Prediction segment at the bottom of the hour, as I said, and I'm going to try to get this text line in gear during this break.
It's a tradition you don't want to miss for Black Friday. The Power Trip Morning Show will be live, Mall of America, Rotunda, bringing the initials game, tons of laughs, and your chance to score serious holiday cash. Be there, Huntington Bank Rotunda, 7 to 9 a.m., November 28th. Check out KFAN.com keyword calendar for all details.
Goat Guy writes, it's actually base, balance, body, brain connections, bench, bros. He broadened it out just a little bit. A bottom of the hour prediction segment with Gerby, and you say, wait, Dan, isn't this Tuesday? The answer is yes, but there is no program Thursday. There is no live program Friday. I don't know how much of Best Of is involved. I think there's some Best Of tomorrow, actually. So we get to Gerby quick, and the bad part of that probably will be he's still, I'm sure, on the emotional high, well, maybe more than emotional high, of his Packers taking care of business in pretty thorough fashion against the Vikings on Sunday. Although you have a Turkey Day date with Destiny in Detroit, correct?
The litter box.
That's the early game?
That's the early. It's
the first two games interest me. That one, and then it's Dallas and who in the second
Chiefs.
Game? Oh, yeah, that's a nice matchup.
Yeah.
Because Dallas is showing a little life. I'm usually bored with them. And then I think the third game is the Bengals, who bore me, although is Burrow going to play? Have we heard anything on
He is going to play,
okay,
which I don't understand.
Yeah, that argument has been made that what's the point at this point? In fact, isn't one of his receivers out too?
I think so.
I think his best receiver's out as well.
His whole defense might as well be out.
Yeah, you could make that argument, but it's hard for people to think that way in the National Football League. Have you heard a college coach ever say they messed up? That's Scott and Robbinsdale. I'm not asking him to say he messed up. I'm really not. I'm just thinking at some point you step either to a podium or to a microphone and you say, this level of defense is not acceptable for us. We can't even continue to pretend that it is. He can go with there aren't excuses, but there are reasons. He can do whatever he wants to on that. But I don't think that would be too much to ask. It's his insistence. Did he say it again today? Did anybody monitor today? Did he go with we're a really good football team? I mean, did he go with that again in this? Because he's insisted on that. And at some point, again, I would think even not so discerning Gopher fans would say, stop saying that, please, Coach. I'm not asking you to say you're a terrible team, but on its face, it's kind of insulting to people who invest enough to watch in the product to try to continue to say that. It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
I want to say I'm 95% sure he said, I don't care what anyone says, we're still a good football team and we're bowl eligible. I don't want to be 100%, but
we want to be right on that.
I'm pretty sure I heard that on the way back.
It wouldn't be shocking. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. There'd be nothing shocking about it. I'm trying to find the other Gophers story. Here's another one where the headline's tougher than the story is. Analysis for the Gophers just being good isn't good enough anymore. Well, yeah, although I don't necessarily see that so much in the story. I mean, he's so generic. I guess maybe because he thinks no one will notice. We did not play well enough as a team to come out with a victory in what was necessary to win the game. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't look at the third straight game. This was a one-game championship season. We're 0-1. This game has nothing to do with the last game. Where was the quote to? There were so many good things from that football game with our football team from a lot of different people's perspectives and performances. It's going to get overshadowed by the loss. Not in my mind. I loved our effort. I loved our resolve. I get maybe people have just given up and they say, okay, we can't find anybody better. Somebody texted, the last time we got a little bit anxious by approach, we fired Glenn Mason and ended up with Tim Brewster. And so that's what people are trying to avoid. That's why people are trying to not lose their minds. In any case, there's a lot of other texts that have come in on the subject. Real quick, I'm well aware there's probably some good Thanksgiving movies that I've forgotten. Well, because there's as many as there are Christmas movies. And as trite as this is to say, I think I'm going to say it, that to me, there is only one Thanksgiving movie, and it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And that doesn't necessarily mean I want to see it every year, because like a lot of people, sometimes you need to get away from it a little bit. I just don't think there's any other. And part of my impetus here is a new, I don't know if it was Netflix. I'm not sure which entity did it. A new documentary on John Candy, the life and times of the late, great John Candy. And I was told that at the end of it is basically Steve Martin. I mean, that everyone who watches it is not just in tears, they're sobbing by the end of it, because it's Steve Martin talking about the end of the motion picture, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is one of the most emotionally satisfying, if gut-wrenching, closes to a film ever. And that's all built around John Candy, right? I don't want to give it away in case you've never seen the movie. But there's a resolution that explains a lot about John Candy, or about the character he plays opposite Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And apparently, Martin talks about the filming of that portion of the film. And if, I guess you're a puddle watching the movie, I'm told you're even going to be more of a puddle listening to him or watching him discuss that seminal motion picture, especially the ending of it. I just don't think the acting by Candy is, I'll just say it. And if it's PST, people can nominate me. For a short stretch, for an ending, for a last look on the face of a main character, I don't think there's ever been a better acting performance. I think it's that good. It's that mythic. It's that dramatic. And so there's a part of me that says we don't even need to have any more debates about it. Other people may, for personal reasons, have their own favorites. But come on. I mean, how do you top not just the film? because there's parts of that movie that I actually find a little too silly for me. But the last 30 minutes of that motion picture, my God, it's just, I'm tearing up thinking about it. You've seen it, I assume.
I have not.
You have not seen it?
Never seen it.
Well, I'm not going to rip you for it. I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, what an idiot. Why should you not?
Yeah.
But I would heartily recommend sometime, maybe this year, maybe another year, you watch it. Because I envy the fact that for you, it'll all be fresh.
Yeah.
For us, it's all, we kind of know what's coming, but it's still so good. That's the compliment to Candy and the director and to Martin playing off him so brilliantly. But for you, the idea that you've never seen it, I envy having it, be in my future potentially with not having that built-in knowledge that most of us have.
I think I've seen the one. I at least know part of the bit of the speech that he does at some point. The I like me. I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
Yes, that's earlier, but it's another great scene.
Okay.
Another outstanding. You're absolutely right. It's another great scene.
That's it, though. I've got nothing else outside of that.
Yeah, it's terrific. I'm told it's on Amazon. The documentary is on Amazon Prime. Was what a couple people have said, not Netflix, but it's and then there's a couple other people who apparently haven't seen it. Who said they're going to watch it tonight. Or maybe they mean they have seen it, but now spurred on by my motivational speech, they figure, why not make tonight the night they see it again? I wonder if our prediction segment guest has ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and what he makes of it. We'll find out when Carl Gerbschmidt joins for the prediction segment on a Tuesday. That's next.
40, he could go, 50, intercepted! And a touchdown! To the 10, he will score!
It's time for the Bumper to Bumper award-winning NFL prediction segment on the Fan. Brought to you by Continental Diamond. Now, to help you break down this week's games, here's your favorite NFL wonk, Dan Barreiro.
Hey, Gerby?
Huh?
Those aren't pillows. Does that line mean anything to you?
Oh, yeah, it's from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, my sources say you were a big John Candy guy.
Oh, that's a great movie, Dan.
A terrific film.
And John Candy was really very good in it.
Yes, he was.
I mean, I used to watch him, way back when he was on SCTV.
Sure, back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. I'm getting a little choked up because people.
Take your time.
Back when I was younger, I used to look a little more like John Candy.
Is that right?
I lost some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to look a little like I didn't have the same haircut. But
were you as funny?
And in that movie, where he says, Dan, there's people who don't like me, especially people in Minnesota. They don't like me, and I'm a sensitive guy, and I know sometimes I get a little aggressive.
Yeah, that's.
But Dan, I like me, okay? I like me, and I'm sorry, Dan.
Are you okay? I can't
mean to do this.
No,
I
didn't see this one coming.
John Candy makes me emotional.
Me too.
And
I didn't know you'd make it about yourself, though.
Because I kind of look like him. And people, that movie meant a lot to me, and there's people in Minnesota that just don't like me, but it's okay.
Well, in fairness,
I'm okay. I like me.
In fairness to them, in fairness to those people, isn't it unlike John Candy in the motion picture Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Wouldn't it be fair to say that you bring it on a lot of it yourself?
I don't really see that.
Because John Candy, if he was guilty of anything, he was trying too hard. I don't think you ever tried too hard
Dan.
not to be liked. Not to be liked by this audience, that's for sure.
I can't. I think I do. I come on every week. I don't get paid anywhere near enough money to do it. And I give of myself. And I don't just, promote my latest business venture. I mean,
You don't?
Although you should go to the Wisconsin Interactive Ice Bowl exhibit,
that's
bed and breakfast.
what you emphasize every week. I mean, what?
Well, we have an agreement that I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, it does come off as fairly self-serving, doesn't it?
Well, I have a family, Dan. Okay?
You're not living check to check, Carl. We know that. I mean, that's a little bit.
Sure, I really am not, because I've done quite well in a lot of these.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway, but sometimes I just kind of feel like John Candy.
Yeah.
And
were you ever as big as
I don't
John?
think
Because John
people
was a big guy.
Not quite. Well, there's a couple of years where after you get married, you kind of eat a lot.
Yeah.
Because the wife's making good food every night, or you're going out, you have pizza.
A lot of
and
kielbasa.
beer.
Sure.
No, I eat kielbasa. That's okay.
Yeah, but kielbasa is good. It's good for you too. Were you ever as funny as? I mean, you haven't ever struck me as being all that funny compared to John Candy, but I don't want to hurt your feelings.
I think I'm pretty damn funny, Dan.
You do? John Candy
People
funny?
Well, see, a lot of that stuff was written for him, Dan. A lot of that stuff was ahead of time.
I see. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't his natural talent. You're saying?
Well, okay. I think he's very talented, but they got right. I don't have writers, Dan. I just me. Okay, I don't have like a staff. I do, but they work in the Department of Transportation. Those people are notorious and not very funny. Okay, I'm doing. Let's talk about something else. I get too emotional.
Well, I had no idea that this struck a nerve with you. It's interesting because I almost didn't bring it up till later in the show. But
people don't like me that much, and I just use that speech as motivation because I like me. I'm good. I'm fine. I've accepted that, some people, not everybody's going to like me, Dan. I'm sure you know that. I mean, I'm sure you have to live that every day, because I don't know anyone who likes you, but I'm sure there are.
Well, PJ Fleck, not so much after today, but that's another story. Couple texts have come in that might be of interest to you. Because people they're listening.
From Larry Mondello guy.
Not yet.
I really miss him. He's not on every 5-10 minutes.
Well, I'm sure he'll be compassionate. I'm sure his text, whenever it comes, will be compassionate. Tell Mr. Weepy, this is from Maury Amsterdam guy in Minneapolis. Tell Mr. Weepy that his tears don't wipe out his past digressions. I think he might mean transgressions. I guess it could also be digressions, but he's calling you Mr. Weepy.
I don't have any transgressions.
You know?
What are you talking about?
Dan, this is a real tearjerker moment for your listening audience. We love Gerby. Please pass this along.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very nice. Thank you. I'm sorry, Dan. I don't mean to get emotional.
Tom?
Let's talk about at the end of the last football game, I had a simple request for all Minnesota fans.
What's that?
To just admit that you are very embarrassed by this whole situation.
What situation?
And
we got to get more specific. What situation?
Your football team.
The record? The McCarthy bit? I mean, what? All of it?
Pretty much it. Pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then to get off social media. So I think a lot of people did that, and I didn't get a reaction. So I just want to, remind people. And look, we didn't necessarily end J.J. McCarthy's career. We didn't necessarily end it. But aren't you kind of glad that it worked out that way? I mean, yeah, we exposed him. And
so
the whole he's hurt thing.
So you think
maybe he is?
You think you might have done ultimately the franchise a favor so that they no longer can pretend that he's viable as the guy in the present or the future?
I think that's something that everybody should maybe say thank you for.
Are you saying you don't think he's hurt? You think they're making up the injury?
I think he probably is because we hit him a lot.
You hit him hard and cheaply a couple times, I think.
No, Dan, we don't do that.
No,
we don't. We're not cheap shot people. No, it was so much fun to see the video of the Packer team doing your little clap your heels over your head thing in our end zone, and our fans are just enjoying it.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun game. There's a bunch of people from Minnesota that came to the game.
I heard there was 20,000. There were 20,000 Vikings fans at that game. Is that possible?
I didn't count them, and I doubt it.
Well,
but I'm glad they spent their money. Go say, and let's be honest. I had a couple people visit the interactive ice ball exhibit on their way to Ramble. So
651 guy wants to get in on this discussion. Could you kindly let Carl know that the next time he tells us a story, perhaps he could make it remotely interesting if he actually has a point. Now, I think that's a callback, a salute, an homage to what Steve Martin says. Yeah, to John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
This guy thinks he's Steve Martin? This guy thinks he's, you got an arrow through your head and you're playing banjo? Excuse me?
Nobody
is that who this guy thinks he is?
There's about 5 people who know that reference. I'm one of them and you're another.
I think lots of people know that reference.
You think so? That's like early Steve Martin. That's like before he became a civilized man.
Yeah, we call it vintage. We don't call it early. We call
vintage?
It vintage.
Oh,
yeah, that's how you when you talk about something that's old. It's like the guy who's on before you.
Yes.
Dan from Woodbury.
Yes, the common man.
He's kind of a vintage radio guy.
No question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry Mondello guy has checked in.
Oh, isn't that surprising?
I want Carl to know I like him, and I'm also a staff writer for the Common Man program. No, I'm serious, and I would like to offer him my services whenever he needs them. All I ask is a free weekend at the B&B and L, and for him to plug my comedy shows. Tomorrow night, I'm at Fat Pants Brewing in Eden Prairie. At Fat Pants Brewing in Eden Prairie.
I'll take it under advice.
Any reaction?
Can he provide something funny?
Well, he thinks he does with pretty much every text and every note that he sends.
Well, let's but let's get back to football, Dan.
Do we have to?
Yeah, your season's over, right?
Yes, it is.
You're done.
Yeah, it's done. It's over. But you see, we probably are going to start on Sunday.
Does it matter? Go ahead. Who?
Max Brosmer. Does it matter?
Who's that?
Well, first of all, I think he's older than your quarterback. He was in college for like 9 years. He's, I think, 27 years old. He's got they say his processing, he doesn't have to rewire any of his neurological pathways. They're already rewired. He supposedly has the quickest quarterback mind in the league. And
I think it's supposed to be like another Kurt Warner, kind of like someone's been a failure up to this point, and now he's going to be really great.
Well, yeah,
Does
but
he have a wife with a really bad haircut?
Brosmer's never been a failure.
Well,
I mean, he hasn't failed yet.
Dan. Yeah, I don't even know who this
well, it's his first opportunity. He's a rookie. His first opportunity to be a pro football quarterback.
Where you go to college?
He went here to the University of Minnesota. You don't remember him from last year? Max Brosmer.
Dan, I don't really track Minnesota University of Minnesota football real closely.
Neither does PJ Fleck lately, but that's another story.
I'm kind of like 99.99% of the population.
Yeah, that's sad but true. Living the dream guy. Carl, I may not like your team. I may not like your smugness, but I like you, Carl. Keep your chin up, buddy, and happy Thanksgiving. See, that's more than you deserve, quite frankly.
What are you talking about, Dan? I'm assuming gracious. I like that guy, too.
Yeah.
Okay?
You'll turn
I may
on
not
him,
like
though.
this team.
You'll turn
I
on
may
him.
not like the fact that he has no idea how football is supposed to be like, but I like him.
One more, and then let's get to some games, even though I'd rather not.
Do people just sit around texting you all day long?
They do. When some people, not just me, they text every show that happens to be on the air, whatever the day part is, all day long. All day long.
Some charges apply? Like, do they have to pay for those?
That's a good question.
I suppose most texting is free, though. I think
it's mainly free.
Pretty much free now.
It was kind of a new system. We rebooted it all. It was a disaster. I think we have it back now. I got news for Gerby. According to everybody that worked with him, the best, funniest parts of all his movies were almost all ad-libbed. And you don't want to seem to give him credit for it. You basically dismissed that as, oh, well, they wrote everything for him, and that's how he sounded so good. which I thought was a little bit, for a guy who started the show blubbering with the comparison.
I didn't say everything, Dan. I didn't say everything.
I thought that was a little
didn't say everything.
unfeeling
Why do
of
you
you.
put words in my mouth?
Well,
I didn't say everything.
You brought it up.
Look, are you denying the fact that that movie was written by somebody else?
Oh, well, no, of course not. But that doesn't mean he didn't act successfully in pulling off some of the lines. And
I'm just saying, Dan, if I had a script in front of me and I could ad lib off of it, think of it'd be a laugh riot, Dan.
I thought that's what you did. I'm all confused.
I don't have a script, Dan. This is off the top of my head.
It's all contemporary. Is it
I know it's hard to
extemporaneous
believe.
or contemporaneous? What's the word? Extemporaneous?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
I know it's hard to believe, but I do just do this off the top of my head.
Yeah, that is. That's shocking. I mean, for people who
I think it would be a good exercise.
been wowed by it over the years.
Larry Mandela. What's his name?
Mondello guy, not Mandello guy. Larry Mondello guy.
So he's kind of against world peace. So I think he should write down everything I say and kind of punch it up. Then maybe we'll see if he's funny.
Do you think you're a hypocrite?
What are you talking about?
Sweeney's guy thinks you are.
Who?
Sweeney's guy. Carl cries about.
Does everyone? Do all your listeners have stupid little names?
Many of them do, yes. Carl cries about being a nice guy.
And the fact that they kind of text in and identify themselves using the fact that they have stupid little names.
And in the next breath, hold on, gotta scroll down here very quickly. And in the next breath, he makes fun of Kurt Warner's wife's ugly haircut. What a hypocrite.
I didn't make fun of it. I only noticed it.
You observed it, and that's how you described it. That's not very John Candy.
Andy, you think it was a good haircut?
Well, to each their own, man. I'm not here to. I judge a lot. I don't judge haircuts, mainly because I don't have any hair.
You gotta call it like you see it, Dan.
Yeah, but I guess that's what it is.
Look, if anyone out there thinks that's a good haircut,
Hey, by the way, do you remember the score of the Gopher Wisconsin game last year?
No.
Oh, okay. You might want to look it up before you dismiss Max.
Well, I don't care that much about football.
Well, no, before you dismiss Max Brosmer as this non-entity.
College football, it's like, the player, I'm happy with Wisconsin wins a championship. I don't think they're going to do that this year.
No, it's unlikely at this point.
But I don't. There's people, I know people who get all worked up about it.
Is that right?
They want to get a bunch of people fired and stuff. But I think most of those are just people who like to go at the game and jump around and get drunk.
KFAN would be less without Gerby. I love Carl.
Thanks.
That's Scott in Duluth.
Oh, I love Scott, too. This is a very good holiday show, Dan.
One last one, and then we got to get to some picks. Kyle from...
He said four times ago, but go ahead.
Isanti. You want to talk about embarrassing. What about Matt LaFleur's pencil-thin beard and eyebrows? Looks like the lead singer of Smash Mouth.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Coach Matt is my wife is very enamored with the way
has a crush on him. Fair to say? Yeah.
I think she says that he's on her list.
Ooh.
And I said, honey, we don't really do that. Okay,
No,
we're not swingers. We're not going to do that.
Thank God. Who's got the best BMI among head coaches in the NFC North?
I don't even know what that is, but that sounds dirty.
No, it's body mass index, I think is the term.
Okay, I think it's probably Coach Matt.
No, it's got to be our guy. It's KOC, isn't it? You know what? It might be Ben Johnson, actually. Ben Johnson's cut pretty good, too.
Ben Johnson's a fraud. He's a fraud.
How's he a fraud? He's got the Bears are 8-3.
What? I got something for Ben Johnson. Come get some. Okay, Ben Johnson? Come get some.
Some bratwurst risotto something or something else?
Well, no, you can get bratwurst. So we have it on the menu this week. Also, we're having bratwurst stuffing and Thanksgiving.
Gerby, you went you went 3-0 last week. Guardsy,
of course I did.
Guardsy through Brett Blakemore went 3-0 last week. I went 1-2 again. So the current standings are Gerby 21-15.
Maybe Dan.
Guardsy 19-17.
You could have Dan. You could have someone else flip a coin.
It's not a bad idea actually. And I am 15-21. It's embarrassing. I have no other way to put it. There's no question about that. Why I thought the Vikings would at least cover, I have absolutely no idea. But I did. That's one of the ones that killed me. I'm a homer. That's part of it. Yeah,
you and Paul Allen are homer.
That's no question.
That's probably the reason that people in Minnesota should be embarrassed.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, see, Paul Allen tweets during the middle of a game.
What's wrong with that?
He's supposed to be broadcast.
You can multitask. It's not that difficult.
No, maybe he has writers. I don't know. They're bad.
You don't think your guy tweets during games?
Wayne Levy he takes his job seriously.
Consummate professional.
Okay. He's like that's a great way of putting it, Dan.
Okay, if you say so.
Let's get to the game.
Bears, the Black Friday game. I think it's a 2:00 Central start. I think you're going to be able to hear it on the Fan. Chicago Bears, 8-3 at Philly. Eagles coming off a disastrous performance, blowing a 21-0 lead to the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles are favored by 6.5 points. I already did the coin flip thing, or I did the car fob flip thing. I don't know what's left to do. I'll just take
you do that. Would a bear beat up an eagle? Do that kind of a comparison.
I'm going to pick the Eagles to cover, because I think the Bears, I believe in them a little bit now under this coach, but I think they're due not only to lose as the schedule gets tougher, I think they're due to have a game that they're not finally in. I'm going to take the Eagles, bitter with the way they finished against Dallas. In Philly, Eagles will cover the 6.5. Brett Blakemore?
I don't think the Bears win another game this season. So I'm going to go Eagles to cover comfortably. I think Caleb Williams actually struggles against that defense.
That could very well be. Gerby?
I think the fact that you have a senior producer, Brett Blakemore, on with you makes this whole segment smarter.
It is, isn't it?
It really does. It's much smarter than it was before. Although Jordan has a pretty good deep voice. Anyway, I would say off the top of my head that Philadelphia is like 14-3 straight up its last 17 games. And here's the kicker, is that they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. And Chicago is 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against Philadelphia, off the top of my head. So therefore, it's a reason. This one not is only an emotional one, but it's also a logical one. Philadelphia will cover.
Packers at Lions. That, of course, is the early game of the Thanksgiving Day triple
early game
header.
Tomorrow, then we can eat.
Packers at Lions is a 2.5-point spread. Detroit is favored by 2.5 points. Similarly, Detroit technically won last week. I felt like they lost morally, which means their head coach is going to have them ready. Your team still, I'm not dismissing your club, but I'm still not awed by your club. It's in Detroit. It's only 2.5. Detroit will cover. Brett Blakemore?
Yeah, the Detroit defense is not very good, giving up that many points and that many yards to Jameis Winston. I like the offense to move the ball and Jordan Love to move the ball. And the defense were lights out against J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings.
That's meaningful.
So why not? Hey, they beat the Lions in the litter box.
J.J. McCarthy in the same sentence.
Yeah, so
that's not very nice.
I'll go Green Bay to cover.
This is the guy who started the show revealing that vulnerability and blubbering, and now you're making fun of concussions?
I'm not making fun of concussions.
Lights out. What is that? What's the lights out reference?
What are you talking about?
Okay,
Dan?
forget
I didn't say anything about it.
So you picked the Packers.
I did.
All right, Gerby, I'm gonna predict you're gonna, as badly as I predict things, I am gonna predict successfully. You're gonna pick the Packers over the Lions.
It's tough, Dan, because we are only 2-7 against the spread in the last 9 games.
Boom.
But one of them was last week. But then the funny part about it is Detroit is also 2-4 in the last 6 games against the spread. And I think what happened this last Sunday is both teams were kind of looking past their opponent.
Oh my God.
But the difference is when they look past their opponent, they lose. When we look past our opponent, we win. And as a matter of fact, we destroyed Minnesota. So I think this is a situation where we're going to win the game, which means Detroit does not cover. So let's go with that. We'll take Green Bay.
Last but not least, Vikings and Seahawks.
Oh, it's least.
Lord,
No, it's least.
Spread is 10.5. That's a lot of points, man. You want to talk about disrespecting our franchise? Well, you are what you are. I mean, your record is what it actually is.
Who do you think is disrespecting him, Dan?
Well, I would say the Vikings, but you would suggest it's disrespectful of Seattle. That's not a bigger spread.
I think everything's pretty much what it looks like.
I'm going to pick Brosmer to stand tall enough to make it probably a 10-point loss. I'll take the Vikings to cover. That extra half point is key. I'll take the Vikings to cover. What do you think?
The spread to open this was Seahawks 1.5.
Are you serious?
It has now moved to 10.5. I don't know if that's the start of the season, but that's what I have for it, the opening odds. I just think an undrafted rookie quarterback going on the road against
a
good team in one of the loudest stadiums in the league.
Low clouds.
That is true. Could be raining. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks cover that.
Gerby?
I don't even know who your quarterback is.
Max Brosmer.
I don't even know who that is. Yeah, I don't even. I don't even know who he is. Anyway, let's get logical here for a second. Your season just ended. Okay, the whole team knows it. Everybody knows it. You guys in the media know it. All your fans know it. And now you can get on a plane. You're going to fly for 3.5 hours out to Seattle, and Seattle's good. And you're going to play at a goofy time of the day.
Well, it's not
and
a goofy time of the day.
You got nothing to play for.
Pride.
We just killed you. Seattle's going to kill you even worse. I don't know why you people put yourselves through this stuff. I really don't. I think Thanksgiving weekend should be about good feelings and family and getting together. It's not about misery and pain. Don't put yourselves through it.
So you're picking Seattle to cover, it sounds like.
Yeah, easy. I think it's about 3 touchdowns.
Ernest Borgnine would be on Gerby's wife's list.
I don't think so. He's dead.
Well,
what kind of sticky is that?
I don't know.
Whoa, boy, you got some people, Dan.
Oh, man.
Is there a way you can kind of block that guy so he doesn't get that stickiness out there?
I don't think it's necessary, but I do want to wish
Dan, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. You and senior producer Brett Blake, well, not Jordan so much.
Okay. He's in the Bahamas.
But you guys, I like me and I like you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Sounds like Stuart Smalley with a very, very different accent. Top of the hour break is next, and then it's Kevin Seifert in studio. If you got Vikings questions or comments, and they don't have to be about the quarterback, but they can be. 64686, Bradshaw and Bryant, KFAN text line.